Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Hum, a Kansas Hoops podcast via the Field of 68. My name is Sam Lance, and I'm here with Jackson Bezdek. And Bez, we have Kansas basketball taking place tomorrow, exhibition game versus Louisville. So basketball is right around the corner. Today, we're kind of going to preview that matchup, and then we had Kansas basketball media day. We had Big 12 media day this past week. So let's go ahead and get into it, Bez. We're going to give some takeaways from those, kind of preview this Louisville matchup today for episode 75,
Woo.
as we have made it to 75. We'll see you guys on the other side. All right, Jackson. Kansas versus Louisville, two of college basketball's great programs going at it for an exhibition game on Friday. We have Darren Peterson versus Michael Brown. I'm excited, Bez. I don't know about you, but this is exactly the type of exhibition game to get people excited, get people going about this season.
Absolutely. A lot of highly touted recruits in this one. How much Adidas money will be on the floor at one time, do you think?
A
30
lot,
million? 40
a lot.
million? Between the players and the gear and the coaches? Like, yeah. Adidas is very happy about this one as well, but so should Kansas fans be. I mean, Louisville, that's a good team, man. Going into their house, it's going to be rocking. Pat Kelsey, love what he's done with that program since he's taken over. Seven seed last year. Kind of an underwhelming first round performance.
I believe it was an 8 seed, Bez. Eight
Eight
seed.
seed, lose to
They played
Creighton.
Creighton eight
They
nine, I
did.
believe.
Yes. Creighton beat them pretty good. But they retool. They get in. This is another team that went after freshmen and not just exclusively highly touted guys from the portal. After some coaches have commented, "Hey, why are we even recruiting freshmen? How about these two programs going out and getting big time freshmen?"
Yeah, this matchup between Michael and Darren is going to draw a bunch of NBA scouts' eyes. It's going to draw the national attention. I think it's actually really cool that both of these players are so ingrained into the Adidas grassroots space. I mean, Darren has his own team with Phenom. Michael Brown has his own team
Mhm.
there. I believe it's Michael Brown Elite there in the Adidas circuit. So. These two have known each other for quite some time, have grown up playing together, and now for game one of both of their careers, unofficial game one for both their careers, going against each other. I think it's a pretty cool story, and I also just think for a preseason tune-up for Darren specifically, I mean, this is as good as it gets. You have Mikel, another lottery pick to go against, and then you have Louisville's experienced guards. I mean, they have Hadley, they have Ryan Conwell from Xavier, they have Isaac McKinley, Virginia sharpshooter, and we haven't even gotten to Adrian Woolley, who absolutely went off at Kennesaw State last year. And from everything I've been hearing, working with the Field of 68. They went to the Louisville practice not too long ago. Woolley has been really impressive, and his defensively is kind of where he's been standing out. So maybe he will draw the Darren Peterson assignment. But I'm just excited to see. Okay, Darren, here you go.
Right.
Game one, pretty much you get to go out and play the best guard group maybe in the country. Let's see what
Maybe.
you can do.
100%. And it's not like it's not like Kansas needs this tune-up necessarily with how hard their non-conference schedule is right out of the gate, but it can only help.
I feel like that's why they might need it, Bez,
Right.
actually.
These kind of games can never hurt. I mean, if there's any worry about this group not being ready for Big 12 play, that there's just no shot of that happening because of all the tough opponents they have. And right out of the gate, you get Louisville in an exhibition at their place, like you said, probably a at least top five guard backcourt in the country, but probably top three or top two. I mean, it's perfect for Darren. It's perfect for Kansas. It'll tell them exactly where they're at after all of their fall workouts, after boot camp. Hey, here's how we stack up against a really good backcourt and a bunch of athletic wings as well. Let's get going, man. Let's hop right into the season. I'm so pumped. It's just gonna be nice to turn on the TV and KU Hoops is on there.
Absolutely. And the front court as well, Bez, for Flory to kind of get geared up. I mean, the thing about Louisville's front court, they don't necessarily have the one, dominant guy,
Right.
but they got three dudes who are completely different from
Mhm.
one another. I mean, you got Pryor, he's kind of your 6'10", more athletic, kind of do it all type of guy, can hit shots. And then you got a guy like Santa DeFru from Germany, totally different player. Ali Khalifa, obviously, saw him a little bit at BYU. He's on Louisville this year. He's kind of your point big, if
Right.
that's even a
Right.
thing, kind of
It is
operating on the
now.
perimeter and all those zoom actions and stuff. And you also have to add in the Zogris guy from Europe. Um, Only 6'8", but he's 240 and just knows how to play. So you got I just named four guys actually, four different guys that Louisville's going to roll out kind of in those 4 or 5 spots and all bring something completely different to the table. So I think that will also be interesting for Kansas.
Yeah, it's excellent for Flory. I mean, the fact that all three/four of those guys are such different players, it's going to give him a lot of different looks in an exhibition game. I mean, that's so valuable going forward. Not that Flory needs a ton of looks, but he's going to have to step up and score the ball this year. You and I have talked about it a little bit, but Flory's going to have to put points on the board. He can't just be a lob catching threat. Like that's great that that is what he is, and he's going to do very well with that with Darren this year, but there's going to be possessions where Flory has the ball within 10 feet, and Kansas is going to expect him to score on that possession. So great opening night for him. And then same thing for these backups, man. Paul Mbaya and Tiller. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Tiller has exactly made the push that I thought he would over the offseason. I'm sure he's doing great, but I was hoping for a little more. Hey, Tiller could start buzz based on what I thought of him coming out of high school and OTE, but we're not really hearing that, which is fine. Great opportunity for him. He's going to get minutes in this. It's an exhibition game. Bill's not going to play Flory 35 minutes tomorrow night. Tiller's going to have to play, and Mbaya's going to have to play, and it's going to be great for them to get their first taste of college athletics in a good environment and against some, as you said, pretty different players.
And I will note, Bill Self said, I believe this was at the Kansas Media Day, that Flory is much improved on the perimeter, not necessarily in terms of shooting the basketball, but just his ability to handle it and kind of, make decisions now, make more plays, be more comfortable out there. So I think that's a good sign. All right, Bez, let's talk about the starting lineup for this game because Bill Self gave it to us. How rare is that for Bill Self to come out
Extremely,
and actually say his starting lineup? But
extremely.
pretty rare. The guy who is in there, Bez, who may be a surprise, not to us. We were talking before this, and Bez said to me that he wishes we could put actual money in
Yes,
Cole Rosario stock
yes,
because if we could, Bez and I would probably have our entire life savings in and
correct.
out of Cole Rosario stock within the next few months because we've been trying to tell you guys
Mhm.
how good Cole Rosario is, and he will now start for Kansas. I will say, Jaden Dawson is probably the guy who he's competing with to start at the 2/3. Dawson is dealing with some knee soreness. I did not catch the self update yesterday. That was from Kansas Media last week. Dawson's dealing with some knee soreness. Uh, so Rosario stepping in to the starting lineup. Honestly, Bez, I think if Dawson was 100%, would be the exact same.
I totally agree. Yeah, I don't think the injury has too much to do with this. Cole, he's just too dynamic of an athlete, too dynamic of an offensive player to, I mean, we all saw last year and we were all frustrated. Bill Self, same thing. He watched it too, guys. He was there. He was aware of what was going on. He had to watch that all season just like we did, right? And he's never, especially him, during the season, a coach is going to say, "Oh, I hate this team. I can't believe I have to go out there and coach these guys. It's absolutely brutal." He's not going to say that. There was a small part of him that was thinking it though. So you get a guy like Cole Rosario in your gym, it's really, really hard not to want to play him, especially next to Darren Peterson. Like that is a lot of offense. That is a lot of just energy that Kansas didn't have last year. I mean, we've talked about the Furphy, the Christian Brown comp with Cole, just super bouncy, but Cole, he's gonna shoot the ball, he's gonna hit shots, man. Like it's not gonna be just a simple I'm standing in the corner catch and shoot kind of guy. He's way too dynamic for that. He's way too good for that. Cole is going to be on the ball a decent amount, not a ton, a few possessions, because obviously DP is going to have the ball a lot. But Cole's going to start, and if he plays half decent tomorrow night, he's going to keep starting. And unless he just completely pees down his leg at some point in the non-conference, he's going to be starting come Big 12 play too. And so this is a good first test tomorrow night for the fans to get to see. I like this starting five. You'll go over it, but I think this is the five that I've been thinking of. This is the five I've been wanting. So hopefully it works out and it sticks.
This is what El Marco Jackson said about Cole Rosario, Bez. I don't know if you saw this, but he said, quote, "That dude will never get tired. We call
Hmm.
him Steve Rogers. He's Captain America. That dude he's something."
Yeah,
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, Captain America,
I
pretty good
like
life.
it.
He did all right.
Whenever I asked Cole about it, he said maybe it's because of the mustache. Am I crazy or does Captain America not have a mustache?
He did not have a mustache until he grew out a full beard towards the
Okay.
end of his run there. So no, that's incorrect. He did
And
not have a
then this is even funnier, Bez, right? I ask Bill Self, the player, I told
No way
him El
he's seen the
Marco's quote.
Avengers, bro. There's no way.
Bill Self did not know who Captain America was.
It's not
Like
surprising.
I forget exactly what he said, but he was like, like basically asked like what does that mean? Like he's like an all-American type of guy. And Shreyas, the Casey Star guy was like, no, like the superhero. And then he was like, "Oh, a superhero!" Like, and he was like, "I don't know about that," but he Self
Well,
also said that he
well.
never gets tired. But I think it is actually hilarious that Bill Self has no idea who Captain America is.
If he did, I'm sure he would agree with the comp and find it amusing. But it is very funny to know that. I mean, that just went right over Bill's head.
Yeah.
Just no chance, and that's not surprising.
Jackson, with Cole's kind of emergence, and obviously Darren Flory has a chance to be really special. Could Kansas have three first-round picks on this roster?
Ooh, they
If you
could.
look, if you look at some mocks do have this as a case. I saw on Twitter the other day, it was somebody's big board that had Rosario, Flory, and Darren all in the top 25, I believe. I don't think that's universal by any stretch, but there's a chance, Bez. If Kansas has this, I've heard this about a million times because I've done a million media days lately, and also shout out the Big 12.
Oh,
Fanatics,
got a hat.
new Fanatics sponsor
Very nice.
uh, with the Big 12 hat. I'm feeling really good about that. But yeah, Kansas could have three dudes drafted in the first round. I think it's very possible.
Dude, they could, man. I mean, after watching Wembanyama last night, I don't think anybody should go to the NBA anymore. I think we should just call it and just let Wemby do like a little showcase every night. But they could, man. The thing with Cole is like, and I keep going back to Furphy because, it's the same position. They have very similar body types. Cole's a little
Cole's a
more
lot shorter, a lot shorter.
shorter, but also more like, he's not as raw as Johnny was, right? Johnny was a pretty raw in terms of basketball skill set. Cole's a little more advanced in that world. So, and Furphy was right outside the first round. That's why I bring that up. So it's very easy to think Cole could definitely jump into the first round. And then with Flory, man, like, look, the athleticism's going to be there. The thing you and I have talked about with him is he's probably 2 inches too short, or else he would have already been a lottery pick last year, I think. But the difference between last year's draft class and this year's draft class, is there a whole lot? I mean, it's two of the more loaded draft classes we've had in recent memory. I mean,
I,
I, I
I
I
would
can't
say
think
this
of
one is Yeah, I mean,
This one's crazy,
saying it's
man.
more loaded is probably actually I don't know.
Isn't that
I
nuts?
think this class is more loaded. I will say it's more
Okay.
loaded.
And yeah, and maybe it's not as top heavy, right? With Cooper and Harper and freaking Ace Bailey, but AJ
Arguably, it is.
Gaivanska and Darren Peterson and Boozer, like, I mean, that's another three that it's crazy. These last 2 years have been nuts. So it's basically Flory made the right decision coming back to Kansas specifically, right? Because it's not like last year was a weaker field and he could have got, oh, last year was your first round chance. No, no, no. The field is just as strong. It would not have mattered. And he's going to be much more well-rounded out as a player. And Darren, we don't have to talk about. He's going to be a top three pick, probably top two, probably not two. But Cole and Flory, yeah, definitely. I could see them being in the 20s. Either one of them, depending on the season, could sneak into that lottery, man. Like that, they both the intangibles and just the makeup of them is. I mean, scouts are gonna love watching Kansas this year.
Yeah, and they're going to be around the Big 12 because this league is absolutely
And it'd
loaded
be
with freshmen.
nice because Kansas had zero people drafted last year. Although Hunter Dickinson did score his first NBA points last night.
Did you see how
Little,
actually bad he
I
was,
did.
though?
Yeah, I did. I did. Well, he scored, and I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry. Just wanted to
Good for Hunter
I like
Dixon.
supporting the alumni and not booing them at late night, Sam. That's where I stand.
That is something we could get into, Bez. We have not
Please.
talked about late night. Maybe we can do that in the under four. Let's tab that to the under four. Uh, this is kind of what I wanted to end on. Previewing Louisville, kind of talking about some Big 12 media stuff. This is the quote from Bill Self that I think kind of really stands out, and I think the reason Kansas fans should be excited, and I think the reason why Bill Self is excited about this team. He was asked about the differences, between the past couple years this year. Uh, I would say, this quote, I would say a difference this year would be the unknown. Self
Mm,
said. I
mhm.
don't really know what to expect yet. When you're returning four starters off a team that won 30 games, you have a better idea what to expect, and we don't have that. Everything's new to everybody, even Flory. He has a different role. We only returned one guy who scored in a game at KU last year. So I think the unknown is different, but I also think the excitement of the unknown is refreshing too.
Love it. I like it. I agree completely. That this is why I've said that this is going to be a more like Kansas fans, you're gonna want to watch this team. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Like it might not be the best team in the country, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Every night is going to bring something different. It's not just going to be the Dewan Hunter show with a couple of Zeke shots. Like that's a lot of what last year felt like. This year will be way different with much more dynamic athletes and just better basketball players, man. It's that simple. And I I saw Rothstein's video. He ranked Kansas at 31. Yep. Actually, you probably need to be closer.
So
Um, it's he talked about why Kansas would fall in the Big 12 and why he would they would be number six, and then talked about how every other team is returning players. He didn't even talk about Kansas's roster, right? And I get the concept, right? In the NIL era and the transporter era, it's way easier to be good when you return a bunch of guys. Fine. Well, Kansas tried that and it didn't work very well. And then they tried to go get top end portal guys, and that didn't work very well. So look, I don't know what you want them to do at this point. Did you want them to bring back everybody from last year? Like that would have been a disaster. I don't know why that's the whole talking point. I understand the sentiment, but dude, Bill's right on it. It's new, it's fresh, it's going to be exciting. Like this is a team to get behind. If the last couple of years have soured you off on your fandom, this is the team to get it back.
and this is a thing that I think is also important to note. Bill Self has always kind of talked about, whenever you bring in transfers as opposed to true freshmen,
Mhm.
sometimes it is harder to get on the same page just because of the terminology. Like, a guy like Trey White, I think it might be easier for him since he's been different
There's a lot of
stuff every
terminology.
single year. He's used to doing it. But sometimes it's not as easy to be taught completely different from what you know.
Right.
And Bill kind of says, the freshmen they know what they don't know, to sort of deal, right? So Bill Self gets to teach I think, a lot more. And I just feel like everybody, I don't really know how to say it best, but just it's just going to flow so much better because of that. And I think defensively, especially, Bill is able to get back to what makes Kansas basketball's defense so feared. And that alone, like this team should be, in my opinion, a top five Ken Palm defensive team
Yeah,
with with
actually,
with the athleticism, with the pieces. This should be one of those types of teams. So. Uh, Yeah, Bill Self actually commented on the whole teaching thing versus, if he's doing more teaching this year. I actually asked him this. Sorry, it took me a second to find the quote. He said, I don't know that we've done a lot more teaching, but I do think there's maybe less steps skipped. When you have Hunter, KJ, and Juan, it becomes pretty boring if you work on the same things that we worked on the first day when they were freshmen.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's totally fair, and I think that's what I'm like. He is just as rejuvenized as the rest of us are, right? This is a whole new team, and that's like, that's what makes us so exciting is, and we do it in the AAU world too. We would rather bring in a player when they're in ninth grade and not just try and go poach a really good 11th grader. You bring them in for 2 months and they've got 5 practices to gel with the rest of the team, and then you roll them out to the EYBL circuit. Like not an awesome strategy there. So I think that as a coach, he is really excited to he gets to coach in a different way this year. It's not the
He gets to
same,
mold this team
right? This
into a Bill Self team.
Right. Whatever comes out of this team come March, it will be what Bill has done. If this crashes and burns, it's on Bill. If it goes incredible, it's on Bill. And I think that's why he's really excited about it. And you couldn't really say that the past couple years because he was handcuffed a little bit with Dewan and Hunter and KJ. Did he do that to himself? I mean, you can definitely make the argument that he did. But at least this year, it's okay. This is everybody's new. Everybody has no idea how to play Kansas basketball. When we come out of this, it is going to be exactly what I have instilled in them. And that's why he's really excited about it.
And I trust Bill Self. I don't know about you, Best, but
Oh, I
I
trust
kind
him
of trust that guy.
quite a bit.
He's all right as a coach. He
Yeah, look, he
wins
did okay for himself.
sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We will be right back. Whenever we get back, we're gonna talk a little Big 12 expectations. My top six is a lot different than some other people's and the Big 12 media poll. So we're gonna talk about some Big 12 expectations and then answer the question: AJ Dybansta or Darren Peterson. I actually have a story coming out this morning where I asked
Oh.
Big 12 coaches and media about it. Just kind of want to have Bez and I debate. We'll see you at the under four.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Hum, a Kansas Hoops podcast via the Field of 68. The Big 12 preseason awards are here, Jackson. We're going to go over them really quick and then just kind of go over our thoughts on the Big 12 heading into this season. I think this year the league is a little more top heavy, and I think maybe not as deep as it's been in previous years, but the Big 12 is a Big 12. You know, it's going to be a battle every night. Let's hop into the preseason poll. One, two, three. We got Houston, BYU at two, actually, with one first place vote. Houston had 14 out of 16. BYU with one first place. Arizona and four actually had a first place vote as well. So you got Houston, BYU, Tech, Arizona, Iowa State,
Don't even get me started, bro.
then Kansas. And then after that, you got Baylor, Cincinnati, Kansas State, TCU, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Utah, UCF, Colorado, Arizona State. Uh, Preseason All Big 12, Dybansta, Richie Saunders on there from BYU. You got Sharp, Tugler, and Uzan from Houston. We got Taman Lipsey from Iowa State, Darren Peterson, PJ Haggerty, Christian Anderson, and JT Toppin from Texas Tech. The unanimous selections were Dybansta, Uzan, Peterson, and JT Toppin. Of course, JT Toppin won Player of the Year last year. He is the preseason pick.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, honestly, Darren
Yeah.
could probably average like 27 and 7, and JT might average 25 and 15. So there's that. Newcomer of the year is Lawan Watts, Texas Tech, freshman of the year. Darren Peterson
Hmm.
gets the nod for freshman of the year, but I will say AJ Dybansta was on the AP All-American first team. So kind of interesting there. But before we get into that debate, Bez, what are just your thoughts on the preseason poll and this Big 12 conference in general?
Um, I honestly don't get the Iowa State thing.
I don't
I
either.
like it's sad that I've been to more Iowa State games and Kansas games over the past year, but I have got to watch them a lot, and it's the same team. They brought in some guy from overseas, supposed to be really good. Good for you guys. That's
They
great.
got two good freshmen, Bez. I will say, Jamarion Bateman and Killian are really, really good freshmen. I
I
will
like it.
say that. Bateman's going to play
I
a
like
lot.
Kelly a lot. It's just, are they not doing the same thing Kansas just did? I mean, how far can you go with Taman Lipsey, right? How far could Kansas go with Dajuan Harris, and you don't have these elite wings around you like a Keyshawn Gilbert or a
I would
Curtis
say I would
Jones
say
like
Milan
they did last
has a
year.
chance. Momcilovic
I,
has a chance.
Look, I like Milan a lot, but he's pretty easy to scout for, if I'm being totally honest. Like he's kind of a mismatch, right? 6'10", can shoot it, can take it off the dribble, but he's pretty limited in terms of like a bag and a skill set, right? And we all know what Taman is at this point. It's not like he's going to come out and average 17 points a game this year. That's not who he is as a player. But I've talked too long about them already, so I don't really get it. Arizona, fine. BYU, I guess I kind of get the first place vote. I just don't get why BYU as a team gets the AJ hype and Kansas doesn't get the Darren hype. Is it just because Saunders is back too? Is that the only thing
I,
that
I yes.
that's
Uh,
fine?
that's
That's
not the
fine.
only thing though. I do think that BYU has a pretty darn good team.
I'm not saying they don't. I feel like Kansas should get a little more respect if you're going to say Darren Peterson's unanimous first team All Big 12. He's our freshman of the year. Kansas is also not a top five team in the conference. Like, what are we really talking about there? That just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Houston number
I
one.
I agree. I agree with you, Bez. This is my top six. If I had to put it in order, I would go Houston, Tech. I'm putting Kansas at three. Uh, I think we talked about this before, but the conference schedule this year is
It lines up nicely for Kansas. It
lines
really
up
does.
pretty good. I'm gonna go BYU at four, then Arizona, then Iowa State. In my opinion, I think Baylor, Cincinnati, Kansas State are the other three teams probably fighting for a tourney spot. I think Baylor and Cincinnati gets in. I think Kansas State, it's going to depend on a lot of things, how that roster kind of meshes together. Uh, but I think one thing to note, Bez, and this top eight, right? Houston, Tech, Kansas, BYU, Arizona, Iowa State, Baylor, Cincinnati. All of those teams besides Texas Tech has a freshman who is going to play like 25 plus minutes per game and have a huge impact. Houston has three. They have Sinek, Harwell, and Kingston Flemings. And Kingston Flemings is the lowest rated of the three, but from what I have heard is
I like all
maybe
three.
going to start.
Yep, I
Uh,
like all three.
so Tech, only team that doesn't really have a super highly touted guy, but Grant McCaslin talked very, very nicely about Jalen Petty, who they got pretty late there, guard, who's probably going to play for them. Kansas, Darren, Rosario, Tiller,
Mhm.
all those guys. BYU, Dybansta. They have Xavion Staten, who I think a lot of people have forgotten about, but he's 7 foot tall, really athletic, really good as a freshman. Arizona has Koa Pete, Braden Burries, Dwayne Aristode. That's
guys.
three top 25 guys. Iowa State is bringing in Bateman, Killian. Baylor, they got Tunde Yasufu, who I believe is maybe
I
top five
love
pick.
Bezdek, dude.
Might be a top five pick.
He was
And
one of my
then
favorites on the boys' side for years. Loved him.
he is awesome. And then Cincinnati has Shana Baev. Bez, this league, man, is going to be so fun because there's not just great teams. There are so many great freshmen who are making a push to the NBA, have a ton to prove, and they're going to be able to prove it every single night. Like literally, I'm giving myself goosebumps just thinking about how fun Big 12 basketball is going to be this season.
Gonna be awesome,
Because
man.
I've covered all these guys, Bez.
Yeah, dude.
Covered all these guys.
And this dude, it's crazy me like watching these NBA games. I'm like, oh my gosh, I talked to your mom for 10 minutes after your little AAU game 3 years ago. Like it's so fun to like watch these guys really grow into to what we thought that they could be when they were 15, 16 years old, and now we get to see it on the national stage. Like it's gonna be amazing. Like you said, that top half of the conference, man, it's going to be a freaking battle up at the top. I completely agree with your top six. Um, I would maybe the airs. I would cut it off. Houston Tech, Kansas, BYU, Arizona, Iowa State, Baylor. Those would be kind of like my
Your
tier.
tournament.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe Arizona closer to the Kansas BYU tier, but Iowa State does have returners and they do know how to play together. TJ's a great coach, so give him props there. Love Tunde, love those Arizona freshmen. Like this, it might not be a 10-11 team tournament conference, right? Like we're not gonna have double digits making the tournament, but you're gonna have multiple top two, top three seeds. It's gonna be super exciting.
And all of these teams, with how young they are going to be playing their best basketball at the end of the season,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is cool.
Hmm.
All right, Bess, let's do it. I don't have Zoom Premium anymore, so we're at 5 minutes
That's
here.
it.
Let's do the debate. AJ or Darren? Uh, this is what I will say. I think Darren Peterson has more of an impact on winning this season. I think Darren, yeah, he has the ball in his hand so much. He's going to impact winning a lot more. AJ might, and this is what Kevin Sweeney kind of was telling me. AJ might have better stats, just appearing stats, because Darren's going to get the kitchen sink thrown at him
Right.
by every team. You can't do that against BYU because they have a lot of shot makers and great players around them. Rob Wright, Richie Saunders. So I'm gonna go with AJ having a better statistical season, but Darren having more of an impact on winning. And honestly, Bez, I think AJ Dibansa ends up being the number one pick because of his length and kind of versatility. But you can't, if I'm an NBA team this year and I don't think I can make the playoffs, man, we're tanking hard,
Yeah.
Bez. We're tanking hard because I'd be happy with AJ Darren or Cam Boozer on my team next year.
Right. And I think that's to your tank point. Like, yeah, we might not get the number one pick, but we might get the number three pick, and it might not matter. It might be the same thing, those top three picks. Um, I go with Darren simply off the fact that I don't know how fun it would be to play with AJ Dibansta. Winning is fun, but I watched him in person a lot. I've watched that scrimmage against Nebraska. He takes plays off. He quits on some plays defensively. Is he a freak? Yes. And he has the highest ceiling, I think, compared to Darren, because he is literally like if you could remake Kevin Durant, it would look a lot like AJ Dibansta. 7 foot, can handle it, can shoot right over you, will dunk on you. It's freakish. But dude, there's just times and there's clips that surface from his high school days. I'm like, I get it, but I don't know if I want to go to war for that guy in the locker room if I don't think he's going to go to war for me. Darren, it's the opposite. Everything I've heard is like the team freaking loves this guy. He is a natural born leader at 18 years old, you cannot that's stuff you just don't find off the street. And then to pair that with the insane talent that he has, people are calling him the next Kobe. And I'm definitely not going to be doing that, but I
No.
mean, the fact some people are saying it. Some people that I have respected their basketball opinions are like this guy, the way he moves is very baby Kobe-ish. So,
And
you
I'll
can't go
say
wrong with
this.
either one. You can't go wrong with either one.
I'll say this to end, Bez. Whenever you think about, Darren as a prospect coming into high school, or sorry, coming into college, what are the things that stood out about him?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yes. What
Shot
are the things?
making, shot making, ability to play make, freakish athleticism, and then just pure dog competitiveness of throw the best guy at me and I'm going head to head with him.
So I would say, Bez, that the shot making, like what was there, but it wasn't like
Fully
that
developed.
wasn't the draw.
Fully
The
developed.
draw was the IQ, the playmaking, the explosiveness. From everything that I've heard talking to players, coaches, the shot making since he's gotten here has been what has like wowed everybody. Like his ability to spurt off and make 12 to 14 3-pointers in a row in a game setting.
Mhm.
So I would be very scared Big 12 because the thing that I think was okay, if Darren does this, then there's no stopping him. It sounds like he's doing that right now
Yep.
behind closed doors. So it's going to be a fun season, Bez. And I've hit the we have less than a minute notification. So it's time to wrap up. Thank you guys for joining us today. All sorts of Kansas basketball coverage coming to you guys this season. We'll definitely get on and talk the Louisville game when it's done.
Yeah.
See you later, everybody.